I have to keep everything on the wraps and check out how ugly this thing looks. Look at this. This is how all engines should look like during assembly. Perfectly clean. Everything is nice and painted. Everything that has not to be painted is not and shiny. Same thing on the other side. I just can't wait to put this thing on and hear what it sounds like with this new compression too. It might be like lower pitch or something. There's another thing I'll be doing today. When you can see this plus this means, yes, more of this. My ball cover is like flaking. I'm gonna strip it down and I'm gonna change the color of it today as well. Now I can flip the engine around and then I'm going to put the stingies back on. So this is the oil baffle plate. Goes on here like this. It's held down by 10 6mm bolts. Oh wait, guys, I missed one step. I knew I was missing something. The bracket for the oil pickup tube. Now for installing the oil pump, I put like this very damp, just light, super light coat of silicone. You can see, just like literally put a little bit and just smear it with my finger. So it's enough to make a good seal, but not enough to make itself into the hole once it squishes down. So now I'm gonna grab the oil pump and it aligns. Oh my God, still dripping oil. All right, the oil pickup tube, it has 2 bolts that hold it down to the oil pump and then 2 bolts that hold it on to that bracket that I forgot to install. And then you should find this gasket on your bottom end gasket kit, on your bottom end gasket kit. And you're just gonna place it over here. But before I do this, I'm gonna coat this with Permatex spray gasket. So what this does, it enhances the sealing ability of the gasket without having to put silicone that will cause it to run over and obstruct the orifice for the oil to flow. I'm just gonna lightly spray this on both sides, and that's what it's gonna look like. Just don't mind the finger. The finger's not gonna be using the engine. I know it kind of sucks to get it off, but brake cleaner gets this out. Now, very importantly, before I tighten down these 2 bolts, I gotta make sure to at least start putting these on here. And tighten down the oil pump side. All right, oil pickup tube is finally installed. Now I can proceed to installing the oil pump chain. All right, oil pump gear. It's very important to have a locking system for this nut since it likes to come off. I have this little bolt here that once it screws all the way in, it locks the nut in place so it can't spin. So I'm gonna take that off first. And this is reverse rotation, so it loosens to the right. Now I'm gonna take my oil pump chain, slide it over, take this, then bring it around the other side on the oil pump on crankshaft. Wait, let me zoom out a little bit. Let me show you guys a little better shot. All right, so I get the oil pump gear off. I just put the chain over it like this, then slide the chain to the back sprocket on the crankshaft, then bring this over like this. All right, now I reinstall the nut to the left. Tighten it by hand. It doesn't have to be super tight since it's gonna get locked anyways. Just gotta get the flat part. There you go. The flat part has a little hole in it right there. Now look what I'm gonna be doing now. Wait, I gotta get this straight. There you go. So I got this little bolt. It's gonna go over here like this. Get this bolt all the way in there. There we go. Now my nut is locked in there because this bolt over here doesn't allow it to spin anymore. At this point, I'm done with the bottom of the engine. Now I can flip it around, big boost style. Look at this, easy. And then I'm gonna put the timing chain guides and the timing chain, and then proceed to install the front cover. I like squirrels, but I don't like the one in that tree. It's been doing that weird noise all day. Where is it? It's like all camouflage in the tree in there somewhere. Timing chain installation, very, very easy. Pretty much put a chain like this, hold it, well, at least what I do. Then this goes over these two thingies right here. Wait, I got it the other way around, sorry. It goes like this. Wait, and then just press it. Now the other one, which is the one that uses with the, this is the tensioner side. Same thing, clicks in place, and that's it. I am also going to coat the gaskets for the front cover with Permatex spray gasket. Just gotta hold it in one of the corners like this and coat it, the whole thing. Let's see if I can not get it on my finger this time. Little technique that I use like this. I gotta do the other side. I put this on the cover like this. Now I gotta do the other one, this little tinier one. Now it's gonna be fun to put it on the actual engine without the gaskets falling off. Let's see if I can get one of these big bolts in. Alright, looks like I was able to install it one shot. Now I'm gonna flip it around because it's more comfortable to tighten the bolts from the top side. I went ahead and installed the dowel pins on the block. Now I also unpacked my new Cometic head gasket, which is a 85mm bore size and 0.080 thickness. So it's like 10 over stock size, since I got the head surface and the block surface. They took the material, so I'm making it up with just the next bigger size than stock head gasket. Also, I will be coating the head gasket with copper spray gasket from Permatex. I always do that on the head gaskets that are multi-layer steel. That way it enhances the sealing capability between the water jacket and the oil ports as well. Before installing the head gasket, make sure that right on this line here, you put a little tiny little dab of silicone. Same thing on this side. You see there's like a little groove there, and oil will make its way through. So I seal it up, a little bit of silicone, that way when the head gasket goes in, it's squashed there, and then you just take the little bit that comes off the other side and you're good. This is always my favorite part with building engines, when you put the head gasket on and then it's ready to accept the new head. It looks really cool with the copper and the shiny inside. Alright, we're in. Now I gotta put on the head studs. Before I put the head studs on, I gotta put on the washers. Gotta make sure I put those. I don't wanna forget those. Very important. Washer is very important because it helps distribute the load onto the head evenly. If you don't have the washer in place, then it'll just dig into the head and probably crack the head or just dig a hole in it. I'm gonna go ahead and place all the studs in place, and then I'm gonna tighten it down. It's gonna be 75 foot-pounds. I'm gonna be 25, 50, and 75. The good thing is, since I already stretched these head studs last time, I don't have to do it 3 times. I just get to do it once and leave it. So that saves a lot of time torquing this head. All right, let's start. So I'm gonna start from the middle. It's gonna be 25 foot-pounds. Already got this one, right? Yes. Alright, so all the bolts are now set to 25 foot-pounds. Now I'm gonna bump it up to 50 pounds. Now I'm gonna proceed and torque it to 75. Let's go, final torque. Then I'm gonna, after I torque them all, I'm gonna go over every single one of them and make sure they're all evenly at 75. After the head gasket gets pushed down more. I always keep like double checking. I'm scared of having the same thing happen again, where I missed one and have to take the whole thing apart to be able to retighten it. Not happening this time. Nope. That's why it took me 2 days to make this video, but it's also very difficult trying to get the video done and also get the engine done 2 different times. So not only do I have the rush to try to get the video out, so I don't be out too long without posting videos. But at the same time, I'm also trying to get the car ready for the open house this Sunday. Very important. A lot of people are gonna be there, and I really want to show off my build. Hopefully it works. I'm not gonna dyno it yet. I'll probably go to the dyno next week to retune the car. I'm just gonna go to the warehouse, ECU in the car, use this weekend to like break it in, and then next week I'll schedule to go back to the dyno and get the whole thing retuned and see if I can get it to probably like 430 or something maybe, and I'll see what happens. Now I'm gonna put the little bolts on the front, and then I'll be ready to install the camshafts. Then after I install the camshafts, put the front in, and I'm gonna close the video so I can finally get to editing because it's already late. I went ahead and put the bottom timing chain upper guide. Then I got these little bolts that are Torx. The other little bolt that goes here, here, and here. So there's 4 bolts that go there. They hold the front of the head to the front cover. Make sure to not break those so they don't go that tight. Now I have the engine sideways. That way I can put the lifter trays on without them falling off, without having to use like a cord or tape or whatever. It's a lot easier. Put them on, flip the engine up, put the camshaft, and then for the other side, I'm gonna flip it that way and repeat. All right, now I'll grab the exhaust lifter tray. I can put them on like this, and then hold it and just try up the engine. I'm going to start by installing the exhaust camshaft. First, I'm gonna apply some assembly lube on all the cam pockets here. Now, the exhaust camshaft is the one that doesn't have the reluctor wheel on it, and also make sure to orient the 2 holes on the back side facing up. That's pretty much, I'll set it like this for now. Same thing, put some assembly lube on. The intake camshaft is the one that has the 3 bolts in the front and has the whole thing with the reluctor wheel here. Same thing, the 2 holes on the back side face up. I gotta move this out of here now. And it's still in the way. I want to put assembly lube on the top part of the cam. This is box keeps flying into the camshaft. Why? I'm gonna go from this side now. I'm gonna put not here and not here. Wait. Went too low on that one. There you go. Always try to see if you can get the middle in first. Then you can start working your way out. These camshafts are very fragile, so you gotta be very careful while installing and removing these. So you gotta take your time. If not, you might break it. So that's not a good time. Especially since these are S52 camshafts, I definitely don't want to break one of these. So you're gonna use a 7/16 socket, and by hand, do not use power tools when doing this. And then slowly tighten down the camshaft to lower it in place. Once you start doing that, you'll notice that you can start putting more of these nuts back in there, and then tighten those to get to the next ones over too. Takes a little while, but you gotta be patient with it, and it's the right way to do it. Not, boom, broken camshaft. Yeah, that one can get twists on it too. The camshaft is fully seated down. Now I can move to the intake one. I'm just gonna tighten this one down, because if not, it'll make like the longest video of just torquing down camshafts. Before putting the camshafts align, I need to put the crank pulley on, and then align the top the center mark with the front cover. That way it's on top the center on the bottom. Make sure your chain is stretched all the way, it's not caught on something. Now I'm going to install the upper timing chain tensioner. It goes right here. Wait, no, actually no, wait. I gotta put the pulley on there first, the back pulley, which is this pulley for the exhaust camshaft. All right, so I had made the mistake again for rushing. I had the cam caps reversed, so the intakes were on the exhaust and exhaust on intake, so I had to switch all of them around. And now the camshaft moves freely. I removed the corner studs, and now I was able to install the piece that holds the camshaft in timing. And now I can proceed to do the front of the timing chain installation. When you put the sprocket in place, the back sprocket, you want to put it that when you tighten the chain, you want to tighten it this way, so that way there's no slack on this side. The tensioner is going to put pressure on this side like this. You can see the chain moving, so you got to get it like that. Stretch it all the way this way, that way it has slack on this side. And the proper orientation is so the bolt holes over here are all the way on the left side of the slot here. That way, since the engine is moving the chain that way, the sprocket will pull the camshaft, and if it's all the way this way, it can roll. That way you put it on this side. And then now for the tricky part is getting this side the opposite way, because the bolt that's on here is gonna move the other sprocket, but over here the chain is moving this sprocket, and then the bolt holds this here and then moves the cam. Then the other cam is gonna move from this bolt pushing that way, so you're gonna wanna put it on the other way around. I'll show you now. before I do that, I want to put on the bottom timing chain tensioner, even if it's by hand. Let's get it on here. That way the chain can't move on me. Ah, mosquitoes keep biting. Alright, it's in all the way by hand. Now I'm going to proceed to install the second timing chain. For this, I really want to install the upper timing chain tensioner first. It goes on here like this, very simple. Longest bolt goes to the front. Then it has 3 bolts on the top. You can see I still have the little Allen key over here holding the tensioner down so I can position the chain. Gonna go something like this. Let's see where we get it to line up. Just first try. Right, so what I want over here is that I want this side. Let me get the camera a little bit better over here. That car sounds hideous, by the way, whatever that is. One of the neighbor's cars. I want this to be all the way like this. That way the chain is moving the sprocket is moving the cam, and if it's pulling that way, all the way this way, it can't roll or move. That way it's locked in place for vanos delete. Then over here, I gotta take this thingy off. Ready to come off. Maybe I'll use the magnet for it. There you go. Very importantly now. Oh my God, we look at that. I actually got it right where I needed it. First try. Huh, talk about luck with that one. Let me get the camera out of the stand so I can get a close up. This is very important for vanos delete. You can see now the orifice over here, it has the bolt hole all the way on this end. That way the bolt's gonna be pushing the camshaft, rotating that way. Now if it's all the way max limit on this side, it can roll back. And then again on this side, the chain's moving over here, moving the cam pulley that way, and it's dragging the cam. So if it's on this limit, again, it cannot move. That way your cam is locked at full advance and it can't move around with the vanos delete. Also, vanos, what they do is pretty much, it allows the cam to retard. That way increase torque at low RPMs, and then it advances it again at higher RPMs. But it complicates the system and it's more moving parts and it makes noise or whatever. So I'm taking it off. That way it's a simpler motor, less stuff to go wrong, and it's also a lot easier to work on. Kind of tricky to install the bolts back in since it's like all the way in the corner. You gotta get it just right to not cross thread them. Now on this side, what I'm doing, I'm using 2 of the thick spacers and I put them on like this. And then all it needs is just 3 nuts here to hold everything in place. And that's it. Just tighten this down pretty good. Then the intake cam is 10 millimeter. Oh wait, no, it's 716 over here. 10 millimeter socket. Also tightening down pretty good. Oh wait, slipped. There we go. Now this, press down, pull the pin, done. Now that that's done, I can now remove the back plates that hold the cam in place. And the timing of this M52 engine is done. Just gonna make sure I tighten this down pretty tight. Wanna make sure that seal crushes against the head and it doesn't leak oil. I sprayed the new front cover gasket with Permatex spray gasket. And then now I'm gonna put this on. I gotta see where did I put the bolts for that. All right, I guess this is all I'm gonna do for today. I got the front cover in, I put the crank sensor in there, cam sensor is also there. And then I got one more thing I wanna show you guys before I close this video. I decided to change the color of the valve cover to blue. So now the engine is gonna have a blue valve cover. That way if I did make the car blue, my valve cover is already blue. Even though it's not the same one, but it is blue. If you see all those things, that's the casting of the M50 valve covers. They're like really not the smoothest thing ever. And I didn't have enough time on this video to sand it all down and smooth it out to paint it, so I stripped it all down all the way to bare magnesium, and then I painted it 36, which is waiting patiently to receive his engine back. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm more than down to make more videos like this. I'm also carrying on with this microphone that goes all the way there and all the way back into the camera, but the audio seems to be a lot better using this, so I'm gonna keep using it. Maybe later I'll get a wireless one if I can afford it down the road. But I made sure to build the engine right this time. Everything is like top-notch quality parts. Hopefully I can get the car done for the open house. I'll see you guys tomorrow.